Tonight, the floodwaters arrive.
It's kind of been buzzing around the community that the water's finally going over there now.
The latest from Peguis First Nation and the evacuation efforts underway as the first signs of flooding up here. Also tonight, locking up by rolling down.
Maybe it's not the first time they do it, but when they get broken into a second time, now they're really thinking, I need to get security.
The security device more business owners are turning to as retail crime remains a stubborn issue in Winnipeg. Plus,
clean up some garbage, don't litter. Every little thing that you can do is super helpful.
How different groups are lending Mother Nature a helping hand for Earth Day.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The first signs of flood are visible tonight on Peguis First Nation. Water along the Fisher River spilled its banks over the noon hour, washing out the first road. A marker the community has been waiting for, as it's typically what happens before the full force of the flood is felt. Standing by live with the latest from the flood front is CTV's John Hendricks. John, this washed out road is a bit of an omen in the community.
It really is, Marilee. The community has been watching this road so closely. They actually were there to video the water as it overtook the road. Take a look. Now, this video was captured by Doug Thomas, the communications director for Peguis First Nation. He broadcast it live on the community's Facebook page as it happened, and it's been the topic of conversation among residents ever since. This road runs next to the Fisher River and is seen as the first warning sign of a flood. Thomas tells us the weather has been very warm in Peguis as of late. In fact, today, temperatures exceeded 19 degrees. Now, the same is forecast for tomorrow. And making matters worse, rain is also expected to fall. As you can imagine, those conditions have residents on edge tonight.
It doesn't come all at once. It comes over a few days. And what we're seeing now is the water is starting to rise and the water is starting to flow from the south. And if you drive down south, you could see the water is quite high. There's a lot of roads south of us that get washed out before our road gets washed out. So we're seeing that happen now. So we're seeing it, it's going to rise over the next 2 days for sure, like today and tomorrow.
It's the rain and warm overnight temperatures that are of the most concern right now. Because of how fast the Fisher River rises, it really hinges on those conditions. So for now, it's wait and watch. And while that may sound stressful, there is a sense of comfort among the community in the face of this impending disaster. We heard it from Chief Stan Bird earlier this week, and Doug Thomas said it to us again today when we spoke with him. Peguis has never been this prepared to face a flood. And that's saying something, as there have been 5 major floods there since 2000. More than 500,000 regular sandbags and 11,000 super sandbags have been provided to the First Nation, many of which are in place right now protecting homes. Dikes have been built and tiger dams are also in place, all in the hopes of holding the water back. That work has been going nonstop for the past couple of weeks and will continue until floodwaters force people out. Now, also helping with preparations, Marilee, is a state of emergency, which was declared Saturday. It allows the First Nation to mobilize resources, access emergency federal funding, and enforce mandatory evacuations if needed.
Speaking of evacuations, John, who's been moved out of the community so far?
First priority residents only at this point, Marilee. Now, that would include people with medical disabilities, those who are diabetic, pregnant, or in need of some additional help. 32 people have been identified by the First Nation as priority 1, and at last check, 9 people have been evacuated so far. The Red Cross is helping find places for the evacuees to stay. 4 Red Cross members are on the ground there tonight, assisting with flood preparations and evacuations. Now, everyone staying put in Peguis right now has been told to make sure that their cars are fueled up and that they have a bag packed with clothing, ID, and medication so that they are ready to leave at a moment's notice. Now, many residents, though, are hoping to stay behind and protect their homes for as long as they can, as there is a real fear in Peguis that if they leave, they may not have a home to come back to. Now, that's exactly what happened to 200 people from the community who were evacuated in 2011 because of a flood. Now, 15 years later, they are still without a home to return to. As a result, I'm told that many of those families are now broken apart, something that no one in Peguis wants to see repeated this time around. So for now, the community continues to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
All right, thanks for this update, John. First Nations leadership is responding to what it calls gaps in the province's northern infrastructure and wildfire evacuation response.
The experiences of 2025 must be a turning point. We must build an emergency response system that protects our people, ensures timely recovery, and respects our sovereignty.
NKO leaders say its members must be part of the government's plan for wildfire prevention, response, and recovery. Among other things, they're calling for First Nations authority within incident command systems, reliable backup power systems, culturally appropriate community evacuation services and supports, and more expedient processes for response expenses. In 2025, more than 17,000 people were displaced as at least 17 First Nations were evacuated. Yesterday, the province said it's now anticipating a wildfire season as bad as last year and is more prepared. It points to a new fire base in the Thompson area, 19 more firefighters, and the conversion of 15 emergency management staff into permanent positions. More Winnipeg businesses may soon be rolling out a security device. Tonight, a Winnipeg company tells us it's seeing an increased demand for pull-down shutters. The aluminum guards cover doors and windows. With more on the measure growing in popularity is CTV's Jeff Keel. So, Jeff, why the increased demand for these security shutters?
Because business owners are tired of getting broken into multiple times, so they have to turn to these pull-down shutters. Harold Erickson rents out this building in front of his McPhillip Street automotive shop. One of the front windows was broken last summer, and then the other.
Each one runs about $2,500, so after $5,000 worth of windows, I decided to put shutters on.
These aluminum security shutters roll down over windows or doors to protect the glass, prevent entry, and deter criminals. Erickson says for a long time he resisted the temptation to put the shutters on his building.
No, I didn't like the look. To me, it was giving in.
But in the end, he felt he had no choice.
I think it's a terrible sign of the time, to be truthful, along with the 7-Elevens closing up because they can't stop the theft. Totally atrocious.
Winnipeg Shutters installs the security devices for businesses, from retail stores to banks. Homeowners are also part of their customer base. The company also makes signs and installs awnings, but 5 years ago decided to roll out a security shutter division.
We saw the demand, and with awnings, the parts are fairly similar, so it was an easy conversion for us to go to shutters.
Owner Terry Galatis says that demand is increasing every year. They're getting calls weekly from shop owners who are getting broken into.
I would say that they look into it, and maybe it's not the first time they do it, but when they get broken into a second time, now they're really thinking, I need to get security.
The shutters can prevent damage and break-ins, but they are an added expense for businesses. The devices were not covered under the province's security rebate program, where businesses could get up to $2,500 back for upgrades.
So the shutters definitely work. So I don't know why they're not part of it.
We asked why the shutters were not eligible costs under the rebate program. A provincial spokesperson tells CTV News, given the parameters of the program and the funding available, a list of eligible security equipment and enhancements was established.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. Get ready to tee off. City of Winnipeg golf courses don't officially open until April 25th, but tee time reservations are now up and running. You can book in at the Canoe Club, Crescent Drive, Kildonan Park, and Windsor Park golf courses online by phoning the Pro Shop or calling 311. The city is also offering special rates on green fees at all of the courses mentioned, except for Crescent Drive. The rate is available through to Saturday, May 9th. All right, a lot of golfers will be happy to hear that. I mean, perfect weather today, for example, to get in a round of golf.
25 degrees we've reached here in Winnipeg
We
today.
waited a long time for this.
Months and months and months. I wish I could tell you it was going to last. Alas, it is not. but hopefully that won't be the last time we get to 25 degrees in 2026. I suspect it won't be, but in the days ahead, temperatures are going to cool off significantly. But before that happens, conditions are going to change significantly for central and northern parts of the province. No less than 3 different orange-coated weather warnings in effect tonight for those areas. Some areas tonight under a snowfall warning, other areas under a freezing rain warning, and we have one region that's under an outright winter storm warning. I'll show you who's under which watch and what that means for all those communities and what this low pressure system could also mean for southern Manitoba tonight and in the next couple of days. All that to come, but let's take a look right now through the CTV Live Eye. It's brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. In Winnipeg right now, maybe screenshot this. 23 degrees. It's cloudy out there. Winds out of the east at 17 degrees. The pressure rather is dropping. The humidity right now, Marilee, is 39%.
Thanks, Colleen. Police are trying to figure out how a man got a hold of a smoke grenade he's accused of carrying into a Winnipeg hospital. The incident happened around 5:30 Monday morning when security at Grace Hospital stopped an intoxicated man who entered the facility. During the interaction, the guards discovered the device and called police. Investigators say it was a smokescreen training grenade, which the bomb unit found was non-explosive but still active. The question now is, where did it come from? Police are still trying to get to the bottom of that. In the meantime, a 45-year-old man is facing a handful of charges, including possession of a restricted or prohibited weapon. A Dauphin man is facing charges stemming from a gun theft, which happened over the border in Minnesota. RCMP were contacted by U.S. authorities late last month who told them the 73-year-old man had been charged after a handgun was stolen from a gun show in Newfoundland. That led Mounties to search his home last week, where officers allegedly seized 7 more firearms, at least 2 of which had been stolen from the U.S. He's now facing several charges, including weapons, trafficking, and unauthorized possession of a firearm. Our power, our planet. That is the theme of this year's Earth Day, which is being recognized around the world today. And the role of community in the fight against climate change is front and center. CTV's Daniel Helmerson is outside J.B. Mitchell School in River Heights tonight to explain. So, Danny, what's going on there? I see you got some friends with you.
I have a lot of friends here, Marilee, and a lot of trash. Now, they've been going throughout the schoolyard here, picking up trash for only about half an hour, and you can see this is just 2 of the dozen bags. There's about 24 families here today, and get this whole thing was organized by a 7-year-old boy. It's just one of the many events happening around the city celebrating Earth Day. Armed with brooms, garbage bags, and gloves, a group of students swept through the West End Wednesday morning with a simple and ambitious goal.
It's the spring, everything's melting. There's a lot of garbage and sand and not nice stuff on the ground.
We clean the West End and places where there's a lot of litter. Our school's been doing this for as long as I can remember.
Wednesday's cleanup fell on Earth Day, a global movement promoting environmental protection and climate-friendly initiatives.
Because, this is the planet that we live on.
And
that gave us
we want to keep it, clean and safe.
Thinking about the nature and, taking care of it and, reminding ourselves where we are.
This year's Earth Day theme is Our Power, Our Planet, a call to community members to take action.
It's all about enabling all of us to look at our everyday lives and what are the things that we can maybe improve to maybe live a little bit greener.
Mel Marginette from Green Action Centre says that could mean finding more ways to reduce waste or by switching up your daily commute.
Turning 1 or 2 of those trips a week into a more sustainable mode, whether that's carpooling, maybe looking at transit, hopping on our bikes.
Meantime, the Manitoba government says it's investing in electric vehicle charging infrastructure and the University of Winnipeg's Prairie Climate Centre. It's also appointing new members to its Youth Advisory Council who are focused on sustainability.
As youth, we've never known a world without climate change. Often, Earth Day is a reminder of that, but it can also be an opportunity for something more.
Back in the West End, these students say it doesn't take much to make the world just a little cleaner.
Maybe just if you see a few cans on the floor, pick them up, throw them in the recycling. Nothing that takes too much time out of your day.
Now you can see the garbage is piling up here. but there's also snacks. So I'm going to wash my hands, grab a snack, but coming up a little later in the show, I'm going to talk to the 7-year-old boy who planned all this, so stay tuned around 6:30 for that.
All right, thanks, Daniel. Looking forward to it. How do we strengthen our democracy? That was the question facing dozens of people taking part in a workshop in Winnipeg today.
This is brand new, and what's brought it on is that our democracy is under threat.
That's Marianne Sorelli, the chair of the Association of Former Manitoba Members of the Legislative Assembly and the former MLA for Radisson. She says her organization has a mandate to protect democracy and felt compelled at this point in time to raise awareness and engage people on how to shore up our system of government.
I think one of the big things that people are seeing is the impact of social media and digital technology, that it has increased polarization and hyperpartisanship. It's really impacted incivility, and it seems to have given people permission to be less democratic, more autocratic.
She says participants are mapping out the various aspects of our democracy, from the media to election systems to civil service groups, to find out where some of the issues lie and ultimately how to get more Manitobans involved. Manitoba drivers are no stranger to rugged roads uncovered after the snow melts, but here's something we don't see every day: a sizable sinkhole. Check it out. Now look at this. It appeared in Elmwood on Washington Avenue between Rock and Watts Streets today. The city says it was reported around 7 a.m. The cause? A water main break, which also damaged nearby underground infrastructure, including a catch basin. The water service has been shut off to a small number of nearby properties, and a temporary water tank has been brought in for residents to use. The sinkhole shut down a portion of the street, as you can see how big it is, but our cameras did spot construction crews hard at work today trying to repair it. However, the city says don't expect these repairs to be completed by the end of today. It does, however, hope to have water service restored sometime tomorrow.
It's just, I'm in a state of limbo, and I'm sure so many people are in a state of limbo.
Preparing for a summer of travel chaos, why the war in Iran could force people to vacation close to home. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added $3.29. The loonie closed at 73.20 cents U.S. Gold futures were up $33. The TSX rose 146 points. The Dow Jones and Nasdaq jumped 340 and 397 points, respectively. Air Transat is cutting flights on some routes in the face of unprecedented fuel costs. The conflict in the Middle East has already led several other carriers, including Air Canada, to revise their plans, and experts warn summer travel season will be chaotic. CTV's Geneviève Boschman reports.
At the airport, the excitement of travel is dimmed by worries over flight plans.
Well, we booked our trip a long time ago, and so thankfully we got a very good discount. And now if I was traveling, I think I would probably wait till after summer and see if things calm down and see what happens with the world.
Transat is canceling hundreds of flights, pointing to soaring jet fuel prices and a looming shortage in Europe. It says the changes represent a 6% reduction in capacity, affecting routes in Europe and the Caribbean. The suspension of service to Cuba is extended until October.
I'm just crossing my fingers.
Rebecca O'Sullivan booked a dream European vacation with Transat months ago for her 40th wedding anniversary.
So it's just, I'm in a state of limbo, and I'm sure so many people are in a state of limbo, you know, and there's nothing we can do.
Air Canada and WestJet have also trimmed capacity, while Lufthansa has cut 20,000 short-haul flights. United Airlines said today its prices may have to rise by 20%.
This is the biggest crisis the airline industry has had, bar none.
In Canada, airlines need to rebook passengers on cancelled or delayed flights on the next available one, departing within 48 hours. But that may not be a solution.
If there's no flight to go within 48 hours, what do? So refunds are the only thing in town. So there's a bunch of rules that are going to have to be looked at again.
And insurance may not cover other costs, classifying this crisis as an act of war.
Refunding my flight does nothing for me because I still have to pay, you know, quite a bit of money for my tour. So refunding me, I don't want a refund from the airline. I want to get there.
And as airlines pass on some of the expense to travelers, some say they'll just have to stay closer to home. Geneviève Boschman, CTV News, Montreal.
In Ottawa, the Liberals are making a move to give the party greater control of Parliament. It plans to increase the number of Liberal MPs sitting on House of Commons committees.
Liberals now have a majority in the House of Commons. In Parliament, there is a long-standing principle. A party that has the majority of seats in the House also has a majority in committees.
The party will soon move a motion changing the rules to ensure it has the most votes on committees. The Liberals insist it won't use those new powers to rush legislation through. However, the Conservatives call the move a cynical power grab, which will make it easier for the government to avoid scrutiny. A notorious BC gangster who masterminded the Surrey 6 killings in 2007 has been released from prison less than 6 years after pleading guilty. Jamie Bacon was released with conditions, and authorities say he will be closely monitored. Bacon was sentenced to 18 years in prison after pleading guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to murder in 2020. 6 people were killed in a Surrey apartment, 2 of which were innocent bystanders. A war of words today between Canada and the U.S. as trade talks heat up. The Americans are citing certain irritants ahead of CUSMA negotiations, while our Prime Minister responded, quote, "We have some on our side as well." CTV's Mike LeCouture now on the sticking points and what it means for the deal.
They just treat us unfairly at every margin they possibly can.
The U.S. Commerce Secretary describing the trading relationship with Canada to fellow American lawmakers. And Howard Lutnick once again brought up a key gripe.
It is outrageous that Canada will not put U.S. spirits on the shelf. It is insulting.
Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada has to make concessions to get back to the negotiating table.
It's not a case of the United States dictates the terms. We have the negotiation. We can come to a mutually successful outcome. It will take some time.
A prudent strategy, according to this trade lawyer.
I think where Canada is drawing a line right now is this idea that we're going to give away the House before we even sit down to negotiate. And that puts negotiators in a very difficult situation.
The U.S. has already outlined other irritants, including limited American access to the Canadian dairy market and the Online Streaming Act, which brings American platforms under Canadian broadcast rules.
We've made some counter proposals, which they're aware, and the time will come to really roll up our sleeves.
At the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer said the bigger issue is that the two countries have opposing philosophies on trade.
They're doubling down on globalization when we're trying to correct for the problems of globalization. So those are two models that don't fit together very well.
Canada's approach could become more clear tomorrow at the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs. That's when we'll hear from Canada's ambassador to the U.S. for the first time. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
In the Middle East, Iran attacked 3 ships near the Strait of Hormuz today, seizing 2 of them. The Islamic Republic says it fired on 3 outbound vessels, calling it retaliation for the American naval blockade of Iranian ports and for the U.S. seizing an Iranian ship. There's ongoing confusion about the status of the crucial waterway. Donald Trump and Tehran's foreign minister said last week the strait had been fully opened. The next day, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said it was closed. Meanwhile, the U.S. president is extending the deadline for a ceasefire with Iran indefinitely as a new round of peace talks is on hold. An Air Canada jet was involved in a near-miss incident at New York's JFK Airport this week.
Jazz 534, climb maintain 3000. Climb maintain 3000, Jazz 554.
A Republic Airways flight took evasive action Monday after it missed its intended approach and flew too close to the jet arriving from Toronto. The Air Canada Express flight had been cleared to land and took immediate action after receiving a warning notification as well as direction from air traffic control. The other jet also got an onboard alert. The FAA is investigating. Still stateside, wildfires in Florida and Georgia have destroyed 50 homes. Officials say an 18-week-long drought and strong winds have already turned this into one of the worst fire seasons in decades. Tensions are running high tonight in a community northeast of Winnipeg over the fate of its 80-year-old grain elevator. This elevator has stood in Lebo since 1946. It's currently owned by the RM of St. Clement's, but that's likely to change soon after the RM declared the land surplus and authorized the sale to Greenwald Hutterite Colony back in December. Now, this has left some residents nervous the town's landmark may be in jeopardy. Those fears were heightened yesterday when an excavator arrived to do some early remediation work.
The residents of Lebo have been waiting for a community planning exercise since 2010. And we keep getting told that it's going to happen, but it never happens. So my question is to the RM of St. Clements is, how can you come to a conclusion and a decision to liquidate 12 acres of M-zone property in the middle of a settlement center when you haven't consulted with any of the residents and you have not provided us with a development plan or a planning exercise as you promised to us in 2024?
The RM CAO tells CTV News he understands residents' concerns, but noted Greenwald has occupied and managed the property for more than 2 decades and has the right to use it in a manner consistent with its existing and permitted use. The colony also tells us it currently doesn't intend to tear the elevator down. There's plenty more to the story. We actually have an article up on our website. Go to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca where you can find out more about the elevator's history and what the colony may be doing with it instead.
I'm Daniel Halmerson. Coming up, I'll speak to the organizer of this community cleanup and find out just how much garbage they picked up.
And as I mentioned, 25-degree temperatures are not in our future for the foreseeable future anyway, but hopefully as we get a little later on and closer to summer, and even before then, hopefully we'll see some of those temperatures return. But for now, Friday, 10 degrees. Yeah, hopefully we won't wait until summer. Anyway, 10 on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, increasing clouds Saturday afternoon, a high of just 9 degrees, slipping below freezing Saturday night, up to 11 on Sunday under a mix of sun and cloud. Showers not certain, but certainly likely, a high of 8 degrees, 8 on Tuesday, again with increasing clouds as we get a little later into the day.
As we told you earlier, today is Earth Day, and one youngster in River Heights has taken it upon himself to make the environment a little cleaner than it was before. CTV's Daniel Halmerson joins us once again live from J.B. Mitchell School. So, Danny, how is that cleanup going at this point?
These kids have so much energy, Marilee. They've been cleaning up for an hour, but we just played tag during the commercial break. And it's all thanks to 7-year-old Sante. He organized this entire cleanup by himself. Now, Sante, why did you decide to do this?
Because I want to help the earth since there's pollute and garbage. And this is a way to celebrate the help of the earth. So I created this event.
So you end up getting a couple dozen kids out and their parents to help you. That's pretty special, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
I feel good.
Why do you feel so good about what you've done today to the whole playground here?
Because these are all my friends who are support me.
And now you came up with a really cool name for this cleanup. What's the name?
Earth Heroes.
And what does Earth Heroes stand for?
It stands for to help the earth.
Now, you guys collected a lot of garbage today. I see it behind me. I see a bag right in front of us. How much garbage do you think you guys actually picked up, Sante?
523.
523. I think that could be a new world record. What do you think?
Yes.
And for kids that aren't here today, that may be watching this at home with their mom and dad, what's your message to other kids out there about Earth Day?
Thanks for watching us and supporting us.
And do you think we'll see more Earth Heroes events in the future?
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having us here, and happy Earth Day, everyone at home.
Danny, I'm curious. That's a lot of bags of garbage they picked up. What's the most common thing they're finding, littered on the streets?
What kind of stuff did they find, Marilee?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, what's the most common thing they're picking up and cleaning up in their neighborhood?
I think candy wrappers, we have juice boxes, cans, there was a tarp, there was some car parts, Amazon boxes. It's really a little bit of everything.
Wow.
And if we all just... Yeah, so a little bit of everything today.
Well, good job, kids. Danny, I hope you helped them out a little bit.
I'll do my best.
All right. You carry all those bags to the truck or whatever, wherever they're going from here. Thanks, Danny.
You got it.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well done, those kids. A reminder to all of us, maybe, especially with the temperatures out today, I'm sure lots of people are outside in their neighborhood. If you see some litter, pick it up, clean up your neighborhood a little bit. Do it for Earth Day.
That's right. There you go. For no other reason, but hey, it's a nice evening to be out. It's still quite warm out there, and enjoy it because, as I showed you, temperatures will be changing before too long. So yes, easily the warmest day today in many months here in Winnipeg and across much of the south. Sprague almost 27 degrees. At one point, it was in 1/10 of a degree of tying a community in Saskatchewan for being the hotspot in all of Canada. It will just have to settle for being the hotspot in Manitoba. But as we head into the evening, it's not only warm, it is humid, and with this incoming system that will impact central and northern regions, it could well bring showers or even thunderstorms overnight to Winnipeg and to the south and up into the Interlake, where the First Nation communities are on flood watch there. But there's an even better chance of more precipitation coming through tomorrow night in those areas. I'll show you that momentarily. East into northwestern Ontario, we have some light cloud now, but northwestern Ontario is going to be receiving quite a bit of rainfall with this system as it passes through in the coming hours and in the coming days. So back up into central and northern regions, we have 3 warnings that are in effect tonight, all color-coded orange under Environment Canada's relatively new color-coded system. Orange because the impact level of this system is expected to be high, and Environment Canada's forecast, or confidence in its forecast, is also quite high, hence the orange designation. Let me take you through it, shall I? Up into the north, we have primarily snow that will be falling. 30 to 50 centimeters of snowfall is expected in a generalized way across these areas. It looks more so like the northwest will get potentially higher amounts, but still right out to places like Gillam under that warning. Further south to central Manitoba, we have a freezing rain warning that's in effect. We could see as much as 5+ millimeters of freezing rain there. There will be snow mixing in. And by the way, all this gets going across all these regions later on tonight, lasting into Saturday. And then finally, we have a winter storm warning for the Flin Flon area, but really sort of the greater west central area. So we'll have not just freezing rain, we will have an awful lot of snow. Now, Environment Canada is also warning, particularly in this winter storm area, but also where that band of freezing rain is expected to fall through central areas. We'll get ice buildup that will likely cause power outages. Travel is expected to be hazardous. Roads may well be impassable. And Environment Canada also specifically noting under that winter storm warning that there is the potential anyway for damage to critical infrastructure. So this is going to be a very impactful system. The other main weather story, of course, today are these temperatures in the south. 23 here in Winnipeg, 26 in Steinbach. Cooler out in the west, 14 right now in Brandon, and much cooler in the north, single digits across the northern half of the province. For the next few hours, not much happens, but as we get a little later on to this evening, the first of that precipitation starts to cross into Manitoba. You can see the showers, the freezing rain, and ultimately that snow. Meanwhile, here in the south, with the rotation of this system, in comes that rain likely overnight. And then we could see this just keep on coming. We'll have freezing rain mixing in with snow in central areas, snow continuing to spread in northern areas. There comes the rain into northwestern Ontario, and this just keeps spinning around and around into Saturday. But meanwhile, you'll see down here in the south, not as impactful for us. Tonight, dropping down to 14, so a very mild overnight low and humid too, with the possibility of those overnight showers. Mix of sun and cloud tomorrow morning, 16 degrees, 23 in the afternoon with the possibility of more showers. Quick swing around the province tonight. We have snow that won't get to places like Gillam and Island Lake just yet, but it's on its way. You'll see some on the way out in Churchill, some on the way in Thompson. Snow will fall heavily there tomorrow. That snow will reach Gillam in the afternoon. You'll see a mix of freezing rain and snow in Island Lake. Tonight, we'll get that snow coming in first into areas in the northwest. Look for freezing rain, too, for areas a little further south. More snow tomorrow falling heavily through Flin Flon and Lynn Lake there in the southwest tonight. Partly cloudy and 8 for Brandon, cloudy and 6 for Dauphin. Possibility right around the region of showers or thunderstorms. A little less so for Brandon, up to 18 tomorrow. Just 2 for Swan River with rain and strong winds. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight, there's a good chance. It's not a certainty, but a good chance chance of showers or thunderstorms late tonight or overnight. Warm overnight lows, and then tomorrow we'll have temperatures quite warm again into the 20s. And in northwestern Ontario, showers likely later tonight into tomorrow morning. You'll get a break for a few hours, and then more resume in the afternoon with the likelihood of some thunderstorms. Our first weather photo keeps us in northwestern Ontario, out in Wabigoon, and that was the sunset, I believe, last evening. That photo is from Eddie, and Judy sent this photo in up at Victoria Beach. This is what the melt looked like on Lake Winnipeg yesterday. You can imagine how much more it melted today. Send us your photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
A sweet surprise lurking in a Manitoba forest, how the maple syrup industry is thriving in our province. Manitoba isn't known as Canada's maple syrup hotspot, but we do have a surprising number of maple trees producing sap each year. And as temperatures warm up across the province, the window to get the maple syrup out of those trees is coming to a close. CTV's Joseph Bernacki caught up with some of the makers turning on the taps for the tasty treat.
These trees east of Lebo may not be pretty to look at this time of year, but inside there's something pretty special. Maple syrup.
It was looking really kind of like, uh-oh, might not get anything, might be too late, but I think it's proved otherwise.
This is Julien Tétrault's second year of going after the liquid gold. After starting out small, Tétrault expanded the number of maple trees he tapped into this year.
Compared like last year, I think I only brought in about 10 gallons of sap. This year we're going over 20. I think we've almost reached like 30 gallons in total. Someone who's in their second year, I think I'm happy with how it's going so far.
Tétrault says patience is key when it comes to sap harvesting. The sap is clear in color when it comes out and requires days of boiling to get down to that sweet amber colored liquid.
It's about a 40-to-1 ratio, so you're boiling off about 40 liters to get 1 liter. It took me about 15 hours the first day, and then probably 10 hours on the propane stove the second day, and then probably about 5 hours yesterday.
Roland Gagne, president of the St. Pierre Joly Museum, has been managing their maple syrup production for 15 years. He says this season has been the best in recent memory.
We think that Quebec and Ontario are the kings of that, and they are with the northern United States, but we can do it here. And we've got the Manitoba maples. They're not pretty, but they sure do produce.
Tétrault has made 5 jars of syrup this season. While that may not seem like a lot, for him, it's more than double what he made last year. But what about that taste?
It's very sweet. It's woody, depending on how you boil it. Sometimes it can taste smoky. Sometimes it's just indescribable, yeah.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, near Lebo.
A landmark and bold policy decision in the UK to impose a lifetime smoking ban on those born after 2008. The tobacco and vaping bill must still get royal assent, and questions are being asked about enforcement. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver on the generational ban and whether Canada will take note.
The United Kingdom is looking to create its first smoke-free generation.
It is, in fact, the biggest public health intervention in a generation, and I can assure all noble lords it will save lives.
Lawmakers in the UK have passed a new bill that will introduce a lifetime ban on buying cigarettes for anyone born after 2008. The aim to prevent youth from developing nicotine addictions.
It's a step in the right direction, and we're really encouraged to see this, hoping that officials in Canada will take note and see what can be done here within our borders to address smoking.
Smoking is the leading cause of preventable death, illness, and disability in Canada. The latest data shows 12% of Canadians aged 15 and older currently smoke cigarettes. Most started before the age of 18. When it comes to vaping, 10% of Canadians aged 20 to 24 and 6.7% aged 15 to 19 report vaping every day.
There is not many things, if anything, that smoking is not going to drastically make worse, which is why I often say smoking is the most harmful thing that you can do for your health. Quitting is the best thing you can do for your health.
The federal government has been asked to consider a very similar proposal before, but so far it hasn't made any moves. Experts hope the UK's bill will change that.
It does have the potential to have a huge impact long term. We are at lower smoking prevalence than we were historically. It makes it more feasible.
Federal
law currently prohibits the sale of tobacco products to anyone under the age of 18. And many experts say to further bring down smoking rates, that age should be pushed to 21. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
What's your favorite fruit?
Kale.
Kale's not a fruit.
Zach Galifianakis laughs it up in the garden when you can harvest the comic actor's latest show.
Spotlight sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the Michael Jackson History Show.
Well, if you need some time to unwind, and who doesn't, The Leaf has you covered with a Zen evening experience called The Leaf Unplugged. It's an adults-only event that's intended to help people reconnect with nature and discover the healing properties of plants. Visitors are encouraged to disconnect from their phones, relax, read a book, or meditate within the building's renowned biomes. The evening also features a gentle yoga experience, and guests should bring their own mats and desired props. It's all happening May 6th between 7 and 9 p.m. For more information, head on over to Assiniboine Park's website. There's just one. Puppets, projections, and an original score highlight the Manitoba Theatre Centre's latest production.
Whoa!
Otosan tells the story of Shizu and her father as they struggle to appreciate each other. The play uses puppets and real wildlife footage projections from the Arctic. It's all based on the playwright's real-life experiences of trying to connect with her father.
Obviously, we've dramatized it. She never really did hide in her father's suitcase, but the essence of their relationship and the essence of his work is very prominent in the show.
Otosan was also developed with input from deaf artists to ensure accessibility for all audiences. Otosan opens Friday and runs through May 17th. Tickets are available through the MTYP box office. So just to be clear, it is playing at Manitoba Theatre for young people. Zach Galifianakis has a new Netflix series debuting today, bringing a mix of sincerity and humor.
The way we get food is so perverse right now. I think it's worth talking about it.
Without sounding stupid, what is a tomato?
This is a gardening show premieres today, Earth Day. There are 6 15 to 20-minute episodes. Galifianakis has been a gardener for 25 years. Now on the show, he explores topics like tomatoes, root vegetables, foraging, and compost. Experts guide him and viewers through gardening techniques. There are also interactions with school kids that recall his satirical interviews with celebrities on the show Between Two Ferns. It's a blend of gardening knowledge and comedy. Here's your primetime lineup tonight. It starts with MasterChef at 7, then Catch the Floor at 8, Shark Tank at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
This gives kids a skill that they could use while they're going to university.
Giving students a helping hand while Winnipeg High School is teaching kids to take care of people's nails.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
23 degrees in Winnipeg, a little bit cloudy now, winds out of the east at 17 kilometers an hour. We did reach 25 earlier this afternoon. Is that a record, you ask? Well, by meteorological standards, not even close. 28 was the record set on this day in 1990, but still will take 25. It's been a long haul. 14 are warm and humid overnight low. There is the potential with that of showers or thunderstorms late tonight or overnight. Thursday, 23 degrees, mix of sun and cloud, and then we cool right off. I'll step right off, too. We'll cool off as we get into Friday and through the weekend and into next week.
Thanks, Colleen. In a first for Winnipeg's John Taylor Collegiate, students are learning the ins and outs of nail care at the school's brand new lab. CTV photojournalist Glenn Pismeni found out how it works.
I actually want to go into aesthetics for my future. So when I found out that I could do this course, I was very excited.
I knew there was a lot of excitement, not only from the school, but also from the community as well, to have this program up and running. It gives students an opportunity to have real hands-on experience in the classroom. It gets them ready, job prepared, so once they leave the program that they can go out into the workforce and start working right away.
I've
loved doing people's nails, and I just thought that I would take it and see what like success I could have.
We really wanted something that was built with kids, not just for them. And so working with our family of schools and feeder schools, selecting a program that would be hands-on, engaging, and give them skills into their future was really important to us.
The opportunity that we get as high school students, you know, it's very like unique.
Yeah, so it's the one benefit of having this program in high school. Students are able to join the program, try it out, especially the introduction to aesthetics, and kind of get a feel for what the program is. If it's not something that's for them, then they don't have to continue on. But if they really like it, then they can continue on and complete the full nail technology program.
They look like they're pretty good already.
Yeah. We should head
what
down
time
there.
can we get in for an appointment?
Yeah, I need an appointment.
Mine could use a retouch-up.
Yeah.
Great job. All right, have a good night. Enjoy those temperatures while they last. Please. See you back here tomorrow.